Okay.
All righty. Well, welcome everyone that's on the worldwide Zoom here. I'm so excited to have our wonderful guest, Stacey, that's going to be on later on, and my other host, Cyndi Reed from Nashville. And we first want to say that anything that you hear this evening, we don't make any claims on, we don't, Cyndi, what do I want to say? We don't want to make any claims that anything we treat, diagnose, cure, any medical health condition or any disease. So we have to say that first and foremost. So you're going to hear some exciting things tonight, great testimonies from Stacey, and hear a video on what this is. And some of you have probably are on here for the very first time. And so we thank you that you're here, and we welcome you. So I want to hand it over to my awesome other host, Cyndi Reed, and let her share who she is and where she lives.
Okay. Yes, I'm Cyndi Reed, and I'm a nurse here in Nashville. I'm originally from Mississippi, so I think Stacey and I have that. Well, you're not originally from Mississippi, though, are you, Stacey?
No, ma'am.
Okay, but you're there now. So,
Yeah.
But I do work as a hospice nurse here in Nashville. I have done that for about 5 years, off and on. But glad to have a C in my life because it's made some major changes, and I just love sharing with people because I know what it can do. And like Doria and I both love to educate people. We just want to share and let people know there's an option out there for their health. So Doria, you want to tell your story?
Okay, so I've been a nurse a very long time. Since the rock ages, I guess, no, for 41 years. So this technology was brought to me by a very trusted friend who's a dentist. And when he first brought it to me, I wasn't sure about it. I didn't quite understand it. I also didn't think I needed it because I'm also healthy and eat well and drink lots of water, exercise. But, because of my friend, I trusted him. I just kind of took a deep dive and went into some websites, mainly PubMed, and read a little bit about this. What I loved about it is that it's non-toxic. It works at the cellular level. So I would say what really caught my attention was testimonies, just like you're going to hear later on this evening. For me personally, I didn't deal with any major health conditions, but as a nurse, you can imagine for 42 years working on the floor, 12-hour shifts, and just wear and tear on your body. It's the nature of the beast. I thought, I'm aging. I got to deal with all this aches and pains in my body, and the stress that I was under, wasn't able to sleep. So when I got on the product, I would say in the first 3 days, I slept really well for the first time in a very long time. I think since I birthed my first child, and I still continue to sleep well through the night. Within 30 to 60 days, I would say all my discomfort in my joints, shoulder, knee, hip, back, all was gone. And so I'm going to, this product, I'll stay on it for the rest of my life. I'm 66 years old, and I tend to live till I'm 100 so that I can continue to share this gift to as many people as I possibly can. Thank you, Cyndi.
Awesome. And Nurse Talk was the brainchild of Doria. So she came up with this idea, which has pushed us out of our comfort zone, which is always a good thing to be in. So we're going to start. I'm not sure how many new people we may have on, but for those that are new, we're going to show a short video that just explains a little bit about the technology, and then it can show you also where you can go back and listen to specific testimonials related to a certain health challenge that you may be facing. So let me get that started one moment. Let me share my screen. Okay. There we go. Okay. Get it started.
Hello, my name is Alan Noble and welcome to RailRedoxResults.com. On this website, you have access to lots of videos of real people sharing real results that they've experienced using ASEA's advanced redox signaling technology. You can simply browse through the videos or pick a particular subject that is important to you. However, if this is your first introduction to ASEA, then allow me to give you a brief overview so you can better understand why people are experiencing such amazing results. ASEA Redox represents a cutting-edge health and anti-aging technology, a new category in science that for 2 decades science had declared was impossible. A technology that many experts are calling the single greatest health science breakthrough of our lifetime. A great place to start is to get clear on what ASEA Redox is not. It is not a vitamin, a mineral, antioxidant, exotic juice, essential oil, or CBD oil. In fact, this technology goes beyond nutrition and ingredients, and yet can impact your health at a depth that no other supplement has ever come close to achieving. For many people, ASEA Redox is the missing link to better health and vitality. To grasp this breakthrough, you must understand that your body is the most complex communication network on Earth. Every second of every day, your cells pass tremendous amounts of important information throughout the body. Any breakdown in this communication, in this signaling, and you cannot achieve your full health potential. A simple example, your home goes on fire and you call the fire department. They have the fire truck, firefighters, fire hose, everything they need to put out the fire. However, if you don't have a good cell signal, they don't get the message and your home goes up in flames. Well, it's the same in your body. If your cells can't signal, then little else matters. ASEA Redox is the world's first redox signaling supplement that harnesses the power of the same redox signaling molecules that your body uses for this critical signaling process. This astonishing technology with 2 delivery systems, the ASEA Redox drink and the topical gel, Renew 28, has been validated by third-party independent science, and thanks to multiple patents, there is nothing else like it in the world. In a recent independent 8-week study with Doria Laboratories, a leading genetic research lab, it was found that drinking ASEA Redox could increase important gene signaling pathways by up to 31%, impacting 5 major areas of health: immune function, inflammatory response, cardiovascular and digestive health, as well as hormone balance. So at this point, let's take a listen to what health and medical professionals are saying about ASEA's redox signaling technology.
Inside every cell in your body, you're constantly producing negative and positive molecules called oxidants and reductants. And the contraction of that name is redox.
So with these molecules, we're amping up that communication. We're helping that cell signal.
Without these cell signaling molecules, we simply wouldn't do the gene replication that we need, the DNA sequencing that we need. These redox signaling molecules interact throughout the body with every cell that we know.
Every cell in our body needs these molecules for communication purposes. The more balanced they are, the more abundant they are, the healthier we are.
ASEA actually has the combination of the oxidants and the reductants that the body makes. So all we're doing with ASEA is enhancing what the body is already doing.
Having a product, a technology that's native to the body doesn't have to worry about detoxifying it because it knows exactly what to do with redox molecules. It's one of, if not the safest recommendation I ever make to a patient.
They found a way to stabilize them outside the body. And you can actually put them back into bodies that are deficient in those molecules. That's a game changer.
To have something that at its molecular level is native to the body is nothing short of a breakthrough.
This is something that's foundational for health, for every cell. It affects every cell in our body. And not just the cells, but the very DNA within those cells. You know, we talk about the discovery of DNA as being a huge breakthrough, the discovery of penicillin. Yes, these were absolutely huge discoveries. But now we have something that actually goes even deeper.
Redox signaling molecules are like the DNA whisperer. They signal cells to be healthy. And because of age, because of medications, because of toxicity in the environment, you lose your ability to make the redox signaling molecules. So having them with ASEA simply replenishes what your body is doing natively when you were young. You know, I've been in the business for 40 years, and this is the first time that I've ever heard about the redox signaling molecules, which to me is a breakthrough of the 21st century, akin to the electric light bulb in the 20th century and maybe even the discovery of penicillin. Because your body is a redox signaling program, and to be able to replenish it on a day-to-day basis, internally and externally, is not just a breakthrough, it's a game changer.
So as you can hear, ASEA Redox truly is being hailed as the most significant health science breakthrough of our lifetime. And it's not just health. Casual athletes all the way to Olympic athletes are experiencing improvements in endurance, strength and recovery, beating personal bests and breaking documented world records. In a recent university study, mice drinking ASEA for only 7 days ran 29% further to exhaustion due to significant metabolic shifts as their body started to burn more fat as fuel. And I'm sure you've heard it said that seeing is believing. Well, this same technology, when applied to the skin, results in a healthy, clear complexion, tighter, younger-looking skin, while dramatically reducing wrinkles, stretch marks, cellulite, and many other signs of aging, all while using the body's natural renewal processes. I want to thank you for taking some time and watching this brief overview. I would now encourage you to explore some of the other videos featuring people that I've had the pleasure of interviewing over the last year or so. Real people sharing real redox results. This is Alan Noble thanking you for your time today, and bye for now.
We love using our tools because it just makes things simpler. We don't have to know the science or understand it. We just share our tools with people, and then they come back with any questions. We can connect them to the right person. So if you'll look to the side over here, you can see the different categories where you can search based on any challenges you may have. And there's some amazing testimonials on there. I think we're up to what, Doria, 118, I believe, on there. So it's pretty cool. So I'm going to stop my share. We do appreciate Stacey coming on. I'm going to let Doria introduce her, but we appreciate all of our guests and Stacey. Oops. And so we appreciate you coming on tonight, Stacey. So Doria, if you want to go ahead and introduce her, and then afterwards we can have questions for Stacey as well.
All right, Miss Stacey. So Stacey Cornelius from Mississippi, not originally from there, is what I heard. The first time I heard, I just got to tell a little story, a little tiny story. So the first time I heard Stacey was on a call that we have every morning, 8:30 Eastern time, and her voice was like sunshine. I mean, if I got on the call and I was like really down or thinking like, I just didn't think I could do anything that day, as soon as I heard her voice, I was motivated. So I don't know if she knows, or I was able to tell her that, but I'm really excited to have her because she's just full of love and vitality and compassion, and you're just going to enjoy so much hearing from her. But professionally, she's been a physical therapist assistant for 27 years. And, I've worked with a lot of physical therapy assistants over the years, and they do the majority of the work. Physical therapist delegates everything to them. So it's hard work, I know. And she loves to cycle and mentor and teach kids in sports, mainly basketball. So I have this great honor. Stacey's we're gonna just interview her here, and we're just gonna let you have the floor and just take with it. So basically, I want to know, where were you before ASEA crossed your path?
Well, first of all, I've never been told my voice sounded like a ray of sunshine. Thank you so much. I've actually been told I sound like Doria, but I'm originally from New York, but I've been in Mississippi so long I can say y'all, but bear with me because being from New York, I can get talking fast. So if I have to slow down, please tell me slow down. Being in the medical field, my medical terminology for where my health was prior to ASEA was jacked up. That was my medical terminology. I had already had 3 knee surgeries, and I was actually scheduled for a knee replacement. And, the doctor had told me, he's like, look, put that knee replacement off until it gets to the point where you can't do what you love anymore. And I was bike riding and I was working with kids on basketball, but it got so painful. My pain was a 9 out of 10 every day. I was icing my knee. I was taking medications for inflammation and pain, and it got to where I couldn't do it. So I just said, you know what, let's schedule this knee replacement. And I also hurt all over. You know, when your back, shoulders, hips, everywhere hurts, you don't sleep very well. For me to roll over in the bed, I had to sit up, scoot around, and lay back down. I couldn't just roll over because I hurt so bad. So I was not sleeping. And I don't have a spleen. And if people don't know what that is, it's huge for your immune system. So my immune system was awful. I was going to the doctor probably 2 to 3 times a month for years and years with something. You name it, I caught it, and I was at the doctor's. I was getting shots. I was off work. I never had vacation time because I was so sick all the time. So that's where I was when I was pretty down. I think I actually told somebody that about a week before I was introduced to ASEA, I woke up and my hands were hurting so bad. And I started crying, and I just thought, if I'm gonna hurt like this and live till I'm 80, I don't want to live till I'm 80. I mean, people can hurt that bad, and that's where I was.
Yeah, goodness. So who introduced ASEA to you?
So I worked with a physical therapy friend of mine for several years. And at the time we weren't working together. So she didn't really see me like struggling at work, but she called me up one night. Her name's Holly Johnson. I'm going to give her kudos because if it wasn't for her, she called me up one night and she said, "Hey, I need you to come to my house. I've got somebody driving 4 hours to talk about some stuff, and I need a butt in the seat." That is literally what she said. And I told my husband, I said, "I'm going." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Because she's my friend. I've known her forever. She's my friend. She needs me. I'm going." Granted, I had no idea what I was looking at. And he said, "Well, they're going to try to sell you something." And I said, "That's fine." I said, "I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. I don't care what it is. I'm not doing it." And I went to her house and I listened to, it was Barbie Bassett who came. And I listened to the presentation. And on the way home, I called my husband and he said, "Well, how did it go?" And I said, "Well, I'm doing it." And he said, "I thought you weren't going to do it." I said, "I wasn't." I said, "But here's the thing." I said, "What I saw," I said, "if it doesn't help me, I'll just chalk it up to something else that didn't help me." I said, "But what if it does?" At the point that I was at in my life, I didn't have anything to lose. I was scheduled for a knee replacement in 2 months. So I gave it a try.
All right. So when did you start and how long have you been on it?
I started in May. Gosh, it's like in like a week. So I started in 2019 and I drank 2 ounces in the morning, 2 ounces at night. And then I was putting the gel on my knee 3 times in 5 minutes, like, we are taught to do. And I did that in the morning and at night. Now, everybody's different. I was very in tune with my body because I hurt so much. So if you notice any changes, I was going to notice it. So about 2.5 weeks in, we went to church, came home, and I got in the house and I just said to my husband, "How did I get here?" He looked at me like, "What are you talking about? How'd you get here?" I said, "How did I get in the house?" And he's like, "Well, you just walked up the steps." And I'm like, "But my hands are full. How did I walk up the steps?" For years, I asked him to build a ramp for years and he never did, but now I don't need it, but whatever. I just walked up the steps with my hands full. I'd always had to use the handrail, literally go up 1 step at a time, bringing up the bad leg. You go up with the good, down with the bad. I was going up with the good. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I just walked up the steps." And then a couple nights later, I said, "Tay, that's my husband. Teddy, I didn't sit up. I didn't sit up all night. I just rolled over." That was huge. Literally from probably the year 2000 until 2019, I would have to sit up and roll over. That's how I had to do it. So that's how I first started noticing. But literally in the last 4 years, I have gone to the doctor 4 times total instead of going 2 to 3 times a month. Like in the video, the longer version talks about glutathione and it being the master antioxidant and how our body makes it and how ASEA helps your body produce 800% more. I am a glutathione producing machine. That's why I feel like my immune system is so much better. So I've got vacation time at work, and I'm back riding my bicycle, which I love to do. And I'm back working with the kids on basketball. I actually had to hire somebody to come in, and he kind of took over with the training. But now I'm back. I've got my group on Wednesday nights and I love it. And I'm getting down and I'm dribbling that ball and I'm like, get low like Miss Stacey. And I didn't have a knee replacement. I canceled the knee replacement.
Wow. That's awesome. So what are the people saying that are around you? The ones that knew you before when you were dealing with all this discomfort, you weren't able to, you're in the lack of mobility and lack of endurance. So what are the people around you that are now seeing this change in you? What did they say?
Well, that's basically, I went into this to see if it would help me. I didn't really go into this for a business. I mean, I did sign up as an associate. I'm kind of one of those people that just jumps all in, but I really was just seeing if this would help me. But my husband saw how this was helping me. And of course, he couldn't just let me feel good. So he was like, I want to try this stuff. So he started taking it, and it took him longer to notice some results, but a lot of our family is now taking it because they've seen the changes in us, and then another family would start taking it and they would see the changes in them, and then another one. So yeah, it's been pretty neat.
Awesome. So we're talking about this beautiful blue bottle, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a gift of hope, and then the ASEA molecules in a gel, right?
Yes.
Excellent. So are there any other, I know the ASEA has other products in our line. Is there like the cell performance, and have you tried any of those? Has that helped you? Do you like any of those? Or
well, Teddy and I took a lot of vitamins anyway. And I just finally told him, I'm like, if we're going to keep taking all these vitamins, why not just get them from ourselves? I mean, that's kind of a good business decision. So we started doing that. So both of us take all the Via line, and just like if somebody takes vitamin C, do you really just tell that, oh, this vitamin C is just helping me? I mean, logically, no, but I know that it's giving my body what it needs, because if I wasn't giving my body what it needs, it wouldn't be in the shape that it's in compared to what it was. I also do take the cell performance. Teddy and I both take the mind in the morning. And I take an energy in the afternoon if I'm going to be working with the kids, or if I'm going to go work out, that type of thing. And then I take the mood in the evening, because I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of high energy anyway. But it just helps me settle at night, because I have the falling asleep can get hard for me because I can't slow my thoughts down, because I'm a parent. I'm thinking about everything. I've got basketball drills running through my head sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I will say with the mood, I was tracking my sleep on my watch, and with the mood, my REM sleep was more compared to when I wasn't. I purposely did not take the mood for a few nights just to see. And it was a huge difference in the REM sleep, which of course is why I feel better, in the morning after taking a mood. So I do that. And when it comes to my bike riding, I will, take a energy as I'm driving to where I'm going to ride my bike, and I will drink some ASEA before I ride. I can tell a huge difference when I am taking it compared to when I don't. And the difference is, like, just off the top of my head, there's a pretty good size hill. I'm making it look like it's like this, because it's so steep that I can get up that hill. But when I take the ASEA, when I take the energy, I can get up that hill without just a huge struggle. And then once I get to the top of the hill, there's a pretty good clearing before I hit like some woods. Without the ASEA, it takes me all the way through that clearing to get my breath and get going again. With the ASEA, with the energy, I get to the top of the hill and it, give me a few good breaths and I'm good. So being able to get, my wind and the endurance and be able to climb the hills and recovery the next day, I'm not sore, after riding and working with the kids on basketball.
That's incredible. That's awesome. Wow. So I have one last question for you. I know that Cyndi probably has some too, but I know Cyndi is going to have the great honor to go out to corporate next week to the ASEA production facility. And I understand that you went out and took a visit there too. Can you kind of just walk us through that, what that was like for you?
Well, I told somebody that people may not understand this yet, but because it changed my life so much, when I say it was Disney World energy for me, getting to go and see where this stuff is made, that has changed my life, right? The people were great. The facility is top notch. I guess you could eat off the floor. It's that clean. But just we got to tour with Hunter. Oh my gosh, I'm just sitting there thinking, how are people this smart? God has given some people some very good gifts, and there are so many smart people there, and they all took the time to answer our questions, just the quality of people. We got to eat lunch with Tyler and Chuck. And at the time, I had just recently lost my mom prior to this trip. And sitting there, I told my husband after we left, I said, not one time did they say, how many workshops are you having? How many people are in your group? Nothing like that. It was completely just wanting to know about us. And, oh, so you have a farm, what do you have on the farm? And the biggest thing was our daughter was with us. And they sat and talked to our daughter about losing her grandmother. And it just solidified the type of people that are in this company, the higher up folks. And it was an awesome trip. It was a great time. I needed that trip. It was pretty awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, Stacey. What a wonderful story. What a wonderful testimony. And thank you sharing, about being out to corporate. And the people that you were talking about was the founder of our company that you had a one-on-one session with, that took the time and to be with your family, because you went out, you didn't go out with a team, whereas Cyndi's going out with a team of people, right? You just went out to visit the
what happened,
your family.
Yes, what happened is there was like a group promotion kind of thing. And if you reached a certain rank or did something, you qualified for getting to have dinner with Tyler. And so we got to do that, but it was very crowded that night. It was at an event and it was very crowded. And Tyler and I talked about basketball for 45 minutes. Teddy was like getting tired of hearing about basketball. And he just said, hey, Tyler, how do we, if we wanted to come tour the corporate office or the facility, how would we do it? And he just said, you just tell us when you're coming. But then Tyler just said, what, better yet, I'm flying y'all out there. So he brought us out there, and it was an awesome trip. The very last night we met with his family at a park, and I trained his son on basketball. And I've got pictures of it, and I look at those pictures and I'm like, is this heaven? Training basketball and the scenery behind it with the mountains, I've never seen anything like it, so it was great. But I will say this, kind of off note. So we have several athletes. Like I was joking with y'all earlier, I know you're doing this topic on athletes for this month, and I'm like, why did you pick me? I just ride bicycle. But I work with athletes and with basketball, but I'm very involved with a lot of the athletes in the school. So we have, for instance, a young man who's a BMX racer. He's in junior high, and he actually moved up a level. So he's one of the younger ones that's racing at this level, and he uses a SIA before his races. He puts the gel on his neck. His mom puts it on his face and on his neck. He drinks it before the races, and his mom will be texting me, "Oh my gosh, she's doing so good. I don't understand." And I'm like, I understand why he's doing so good. But he's not only just racing with these older kids, he's placing like second, third, sometimes first. So that's great. And then we have a cross country runner that she used it for soreness and for endurance. She's hitting several PRs. She won division last year and came in second in the state last year using a SIA. Got a young man in New York, which is where I'm originally from, a friend of mine's son. He does track and field, and he's PRing left and right. He drinks the ASEA, he puts the gel on his chest. Basketball players we've got using it, like if they're before the game, they'll put the gel on, just to help with the endurance. I mean, that's a fast paced. If you're playing the whole game, that's a long time. And so he'll do that for endurance, or say they just tweak an ankle or something, and they'll put the gel on just to kind of help with that quick inflammation. Had a young man a couple weeks ago, he's a pitcher, and his shoulder, and he does archery too, and his shoulder was bothering him. They're throwing a lot of pitches, and his mom messaged me. I'm like, hey, stick that gel on his shoulder. Well, it helps. So, it's kind of neat that, it's helped me, but I'm getting to help so many more people in my life, because I went into healthcare to help people. And when I hear the testimonials at these workshops that we do, I mean, I'll start crying, because just to think that I had anything to do with people's lives changing, especially the people in my family. I was thinking about my sister-in-law who's on this call. She's a great cook. She takes care of us when it comes to food, because I can't cook. And I've often thought, how can I even do anything to help her? Well, with ASEA, her life has changed. And just knowing that I had anything to do with it. And it's what if I wouldn't have went to my friend's house that night? If I wouldn't have went to my friend's house last night, my life would not even be close to where it is today, and the people I love either. So it's been life-changing. I'm sorry if I just kept on and on. I get excited.
No, I love it. I love it. I just hear your heart. And that's what I understand that, and Cyndi can attest to it too, as healthcare professionals, that we got into this, in our fields to help people. And I believe I'm helping more people now than I have in the 41 years that I've worked as a nurse, so I love your testimony. It was wonderful. So yeah.
I just love, Stacey, I just love your energy. That's what's contagious. Just hearing you on the morning calls, and, like we all talk about the struggles, the wins. I mean, Stacey just keeps on going through the struggles and just picks herself up and keeps going. And she's been an encouragement for me, just listening to her as well.
Well, Cyndi, I was thinking about just a little bit ago, I was like, people will go watch a movie and they'll like that movie, to where literally the next day they go into work and they're like, oh my gosh, I just watched this great movie in this scene, and oh my gosh, you need to go watch that. But what if there's something that has changed your life?
Right.
How exciting is that?
Right.
I mean, I can't help it to be excited. This is way more than a good movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Has more benefit. And the thing about it, Stacey, so many people have this bad idea in their mind about network marketing. And it's basically just what you said. You're just telling people about this awesome product, except that we get paid to do it, so that's a win-win. You're helping people, and then you get paid for helping people as well.
Right.
Stacey, how much did you start with, and how much are you on now?
I started out 2 ounces in the morning, 2 ounces at night. It varies, because like I told somebody, and we know the taste is different for everybody, and I don't taste it anymore. If I taste it, I drink more, because I know something's going on. And I work in a nursing home, and a couple years ago, we all had to face that certain virus that was going around. So when that was going around, I was drinking 4 ounces in the morning, 2 ounces at 10, 2 ounces at 2, and 4 ounces at night. Because remember, I don't have a spleen.
Right.
So I was very nervous about that. But the majority of the time, anywhere between 4 ounces a day and maybe 8. Like if I'm going to ride my bike, I'll drink some before I ride my bike. I'll drink some after. So I just throw in a couple different ounces here and there if I need it, depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate that testimony. What do you feel like is the biggest challenge that people have with not wanting to try this? I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I didn't prep her for this question.
I didn't prep
It just popped in my
I
head.
would say the money. They're concerned about the money. They can't afford it. But like I have mentioned to Teddy in the past, if something was to happen that, you know, we were starting to get financially strapped, ASEA would be the last thing that left. We would make choices in our lives like, okay, we're not going to eat out. We're not going to do this, or because to me, it doesn't matter how much money I make if I don't have my health. I mean, I've got a daughter. She's 18. She's going to be graduating this week. I want to be here to see her and not just be here. I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. I want to go do things. And at the point in my life where I couldn't do that. I want to tell you, if it wasn't for ASEA, I know where I'd be. I'd be laid up in that recliner over there. That's where I'd be, because, you know, yes, I was going to, you know, have the knee replacement, but I've worked in therapy long enough to know that sometimes they don't work out.
Right.
And I was hurting so bad. So whether the knee replacement happened or not, I was constantly sick and I hurt all the time. So I know where I would have been. So, you know, like I said, your health is more important, and, you know, what you're spending your money on. I mean, those are the choices you can make. And I've had numerous people be like, I wish I would have listened to you a long time ago. Like they just started taking it and they've noticed changes and they're feeling better. And they're like, oh, I wish I would have listened. And I'm like, I wish you would have too, but glad you are now.
But that's the thing, people have to think about their health, because once you lose that, it's almost impossible. I won't say impossible, but almost to get it back. And you do have to make those sacrifices and figure out, what can I give up or what can I do to get the health back? And, you know, maybe it's like you said, you know, dropping some things that aren't necessarily necessities, maybe luxuries, but yeah, you have to figure out what's important and what you value the most. So I appreciate your testimony so much tonight.
Thank you.
That's great.
Anyone,
we can open it up for questions if you're willing to do that, Stacey.
Yeah.
Y'all want to raise your hand? Okay, I think Norm, I see you up first.
Hey, Stacey, I saw you in Charlotte.
Hey, Norm.
Good to see you. When you mentioned bicycling, it sounded like you might be going on mountain bike trails or anything like that. Is it more road riding?
I do road riding. Actually, I started off with a hybrid bike, and then I went to a road bike, and I do have a mountain bike, but I like to go out and just do a road bike. I ride I ride 13 miles at a time. I have ridden up to 50 miles, but I don't know, you know, road bikes, the seats are like that. And, you know, I'd be miserable. But I rode my bike when I was a kid. I loved it. And then I started getting back into it and I love it. And yeah, road bike is where I'm at.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you increased your mileage since starting the ASEA, prior to ASEA, how far you went versus afterwards and stuff like that.
This is being recorded. I could increase my mileage if a certain aspect of my body didn't start hurting from riding a road bike. But I did just purchase a new seat that might help with that. And because it's not my legs and it's not my lungs, it's nothing. It's my butt.
Yeah.
So once I get that, you know, I'm really hoping that this seat's gonna, because what I want to do is there's rides out there where, you know, there's one in Mississippi where there's thousands of people riding. When you're riding a bike with thousands of people, that gives you the opportunity to meet more people, which is what we need to do. So, you know, my goal is to be able to ride longer to where I can do these rides and pull out that ASEA pouch and be drinking it and have somebody say, hey, what's that?
Yeah, here in Connecticut, we have a old railroad called the Airline Trail, and it goes for miles and miles and miles. And a lot of times, Darlene and I just get out there too late, so we have to like set the timer and turn around so we get back before it gets dark. But we've been able to do, close to 20 some odd miles and still had energy remaining. And I'm an amputee below the knee. So for me to have that type of endurance and not achy afterwards, it's just very, it's awesome. It was my life prior to this. I used to do a lot of bicycling and rode to Canada from Connecticut and stuff. So all through New England mountains. And so I've got this energy from the ASEA, and I was just curious as to what your results were for endurance and everything. But I definitely appreciate the saddle and my hands. The nerve damage in my palms when I did Canada was horrible. So you just have to adjust the bicycle accordingly and upgrade the saddle.
Yeah. Well, the endurance is definitely better because, for instance, with it getting so hot, and there's no way I could have done this before. I'll get up at like 4:15 and I'll drive and get on my bike by 6 a.m, and then I'll ride and then go to work.
Wow.
So yeah, that wasn't happening before because by the time I got off the bike, it was a struggle to get in the car. And then I have to drive a good distance to where I ride. So when I get out of the car to try and get back in the house was awful. So for me to be able to actually ride and then go to work and then sometimes go back to the gym and lift and then go work with kids on basketball, I think it's definitely helped my endurance.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep up the good work. And you're an inspiration to myself. The struggle, I love hearing when you struggle because I don't feel so lonely.
Hey, I try to be transparent with these struggles because we all have them, and I'm just like, if I'm going through it, I know somebody else is. Because if nobody's saying their struggles, their struggle, they just don't want to tell you, you know?
Yeah, and I would sell my Ritchie mountain bike in order to keep the ASEA. So that's my pride and joy. It's about 1980 bike.
Well, I don't know. It'll probably the ASEA will be the last thing to go. My bike would have to be second to last.
Amen. That's what I'm saying.
But hey, you know what, Norm? My goal is at some point I want to get a customized bike that is colored blue like ASEA and have Redox written on the side of it and have the little cells, and I want it designed about ASEA because without ASEA I wouldn't be riding my bike anymore.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I appreciate your story tonight, and I'm looking forward to sharing the recording. I had some people that I shared Redox with today, and they just didn't quite get on here, but I'm definitely going to be sharing that with them. One of them's a mechanic at the bike shop I went to today.
There you go.
I'll fix them. Awesome.
Stacey,
thank you.
Stacey, I think you're selling yourself short. You're definitely an athlete. If you get up at 4 a.m. and you're riding that many miles before work, and plus you're still going to the gym, yeah, you're an athlete.
Well,
definitely.
That's a marathon.
Look, I'm just gonna be honest. If people looked at me, they would not be like, "Oh, she's an athlete," but it's because I like to eat.
That's
I still
okay.
like to eat. But my thought is if I keep riding my bike and I keep exercising, I can splurge a little bit on the food if I want to, but I'm going to try and get that better.
Well, I think you're awesome. So I appreciate the testimony. Does anyone else have questions tonight for Stacey? Raise your hand or unmute if you want. Okay, Stacey, well, we appreciate this so much, and I'm going to share it too. We should get it posted, hopefully, to redoxnursetalk.net tonight, and people can go there and look for it, but I can also email it if someone wants it. Just send me a message and I can send it to them.
I will say this, Cyndi, I know you were asked, Doria was asking earlier about the different products I use. I do use the skincare, and I just started the clay mask. I mean, I'm not a diva. That's not my thing. Honestly, prior to the skincare, I just washed my face with shampoo. I hate to say it, but Teddy can honestly tell you that skincare is probably, even though the blue bottles, changed my life, the skincare is probably my favorite product. I love
That's
it.
awesome. That's especially now with the mask. How do you like the mask?
I like it, but like I said, because I wasn't really into skincare, I don't have anything to compare it to. But what I do know is when I put it on, like at the 5-minute mark, all of a sudden it's like, okay, something's happening. Something's happening. I don't know what it is, but I know something's happening. And then when I take it off, I'm like, wow, that feels pretty cool. Like literally, I woke up one morning kind of not in a good mood. And I just thought, I've been doing the clay mask at night and it's been making me kind of feel good. I'm going to just give me a little extra 10 minutes today. I'm going to do the clay mask before I go to work. And I did it. And I was like, hey, that made me feel better. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really anxious about what Terry told us a little bit this morning. We can't really go into it, but about the newest product coming out, possibly in June, I think he said. So everyone will have to be.
I don't know much about that either, but I'm sure
Yeah.
I'll be using it. And
Yeah.
every product we have, I use, and because I know that it's helping my body. So I will use that too. And I'm looking forward to whatever it's supposed to do.
Yep, exactly.
Well, I just want to read what's in the chat and just share with you. Stacey says, this is from Candy. She said, first she says, I want to say thank you to Nurse Talk, grateful for Cyndi and Doria. Stacey, you're such an inspiration. I appreciate you sharing from your heart. You're amazing. And thank you for the beautiful person that you are. And then this is from Barbara Stolt. She says, you are such an inspiration. I love your enthusiasm and just for life. And let's see what else is there. Yeah. So
well, you know what, Doria, the thing about it is I have people tell me that, but here's the thing, we're all different. Be you. That's like, I do TikTok videos and all that stuff. Just be who you are, because you're going to attract people by just being you. People know if you're being fake. They do. People will know if people who know me would know if I'm being fake. So just be who you are. And God's going to put in your path who he plans on putting in your path. And I mean, we have people I've got somebody in Wales I've never met. How's that happen? We've got people in Canada that we literally met at a fruit stand in Mississippi. They were traveling through on a holiday, met them in a fruit stand, started talking. Next thing you know, we give them a trial gel. They go back up to Canada and they're using the product.
Awesome.
They're going to see us. So, God's going to put in your path who's supposed to be there, and just be who you are. And yeah.
Well, it's like I've read some.
Y'all. I love y'all. I love listening to your talk in the morning, and you inspire everybody that said that. Y'all inspire me too. So just keep sharing and reaching out to people and be you, baby.
Well, everyone else is taken. We have to be us, right?
That's right. It'd be a boring world if we were all the same.
It would be. Well, thanks again, Stacey. We appreciate everyone coming and listening to Stacey's testimony. We do this every Tuesday, but next week we will not be doing it. And we'll pick back up the last week of May, right, Doria? No, last week of May.
May 30th, we have Marsha White on.
Now that's an athlete right there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate everybody. We appreciate you, Stacey. Thank you. And we will get this out to anybody that wants it. So y'all have a great night.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Stacey. Great call. Blessings, everyone.
Right. Thank you all.
The recording here.
Thank you. Great call.